Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. It is exactly 19 after 9 o'clock. We're now going to be talking with my colleague here at Salam Media, senior presenter, Apa Miriam Mia. She is the presenter of the Wednesday educational show. She's also an ECD specialist, and she's going to be talking to us about that crazy decision by the Department of Education about introducing unisex bathrooms in schools. So the big question to ask is who sits there behind those desks in those luxurious offices of theirs, thinking up these outrageous ideas, not considering the principles of the families, the homes these children come out of, and to expose the children to something like unisex bathrooms. And I guess the next question, and the most important question to ask, is what about schools that are in absolute poor conditions, and those schools in rural areas and even locally that have pit latrines? Mariam Mia, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. Nice chatting with you after a long, long time.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, indeed, it has been a long time, my beloved colleague and mentor, Julie. It's good to connect with you as well as all our Salam Media listeners.
Alhamdulillah. Miriam, I am sure you being an ECD specialist, you're also in the teaching field. You must be absolutely outraged by this decision. Is it cast in stone already, or is it has it just been tabled and still up for discussion?
So, yes, so the department, remember this came out on one of the news.
Losing you
there. I said this just it broke on the news channels where it was mentioned that the department is now considering building unisex toilets. And then yesterday I saw Department of Education spokesperson Elijah Mashlangu backtracking, or I don't know if it was backtracking, but then saying the document was leaked. It's just a proposal to be discussed or open for discussion in January 2023. But be that may be, if it is a document and it is up for discussion, then this is what the department is thinking a lot. So, Julie, this issue is multifaceted, but for now alone, I think we should tackle it in terms of resource and infrastructure in schools, because why is unisex toilets given a priority? Given a priority when the department does not even have a proper database in terms of gender orientation of the numbers in each school. The forms are being sent out only now to find out what percentage of children are struggling with gender identity and require unisex bathrooms. Because remember, in the High Court, when Section 27 last year took the department to court, so that judgment is still, the department is having on record saying that it cannot fulfill its mandate to eradicate pit toilets immediately. This can only be achieved in the year 2031, and this is not me. This I'm quoting from the High Court judgment where Section 27 had taken the department to court, and this judgment is still being held because the department is insisting in terms of its resources and finances. It can only eradicate pit latrines in 2031. So now, Julie, the question is, where is this funding coming? If the department is even considering unisex bathrooms, then at that judgment, they spoke in front of the court to indicate 2031. So where is the funding now suddenly coming for a segment of learners? We don't even know the percentage who are struggling with gender issues, and gender issues is not going to be solved by unisex bathrooms. Those require psychosocial services. So hence, the department is saying we are putting X amount of money in psychosocial services to support these learners who are experiencing at 5, 6, 7 years old. You can't decide whether you're bisexual, whether you're transgender, whether you're non-binary. Do you even have the mental capacity to even decide where you belong and
Exactly.
what is your gender? So this
Exactly.
unisex story is not going to solve the issue. If we have this issue, yes, the issue is there. We have the issue building this type of infrastructure, especially when many children, in fact, I said in my open letter, thousands of children. I stand to be corrected, Julie. It's not thousands of children. It's millions of children that have to endure unhygienic, unsanitary, hazardous toilets, even if it's not pit latrines. I think they should do a toilet audit or ablution audit, because it's shocking. This is both rural and urban schools that are in a shocking state of disrepair. So Department of Education kindly do an audit of general ablution facilities, and whoever is funding you and funding this, let's worry about hygiene for every learner. Let's be concerned about every learner, not just a confused learner or learner who's confused about their gender, but every learner requires respect and dignity. And if you now have money, then maybe change your mandate. You said in the High Court it's 2031. Then let's change this. Let's say by 2023, every school will have sanitary, hygiene, ablution facilities for all learners, because it's a fundamental right. Not only if you are struggling with gender identity issues, should then you be given preference. Why?
Okay, and then the other very important issue that you raise as well, Miriam, and I can't agree with you more when you say these kids are still too young to even understand issues around gender identity. And I'm kind of wondering, are we not forcing them to think about areas they're not even equipped to deal with at their tender young ages? So when you come along with these, these gender neutral bathrooms or toilet facilities, what is going into their heads? What are you conditioning them to think about, which you have obviously spoken about at length? There's issues around hundreds of thousands of children that go to school hungry. There's issues around hundreds of thousands of children that have to walk for miles on end to get to their school, and they're exposed to the elements. They're exposed to be possibly attacked, to be prowled upon. There's just so many other issues. And lo and behold, our fabulous Department of Education comes along, and they're now talking about gender-friendly bathrooms. Come on, guys, get a life. Your thoughts, Mariam?
So, Julie, you spoke about two things. Let me just touch upon that hunger issue. Again, when I penned my letter, I apologize. I stand corrected. It's not thousands of learners that go hungry to school every day. In fact, we could quantify that number in 2022. Again, our Sterling chapter 9, well, advocacy group, section 27, forced the government in the COVID to feed. There are 9 million. So at that time, the estimate was quantifiable to 9 million children that indeed go hungry to school. 9 million. So what do you do? Is a unisex bathroom more important than feeding 9 million children? Look at Maslow hierarchy of needs. Will ever tell you, if you're hungry, you can't learn. If you're hungry, you can't get to school. If you're hungry, never mind that all these feelings of emotional feelings, it is not going to happen, because your hunger is going to supersede all this. So take that money and put it, use the resources into feeding schemes. Then you spoke about, yes, department is already sending forms to grade our parents as well, asking them what orientation are they children, and there's a whole list including transgender, homosexual. There's various labels doing this, and now children at 6 and 7 are required to put their signature alongside the parents to testify. So exactly, you used a very important word, the operative word being, are our children being conditioned, and why? because this is condition. This is priming.
Absolutely.
This is priming and conditioning our children. At that age, they still they are discovering who they are. They're discovering their senses, their tactile senses, and their relationship to peers and others. And at that stage, I specialize in 4-year-old children. Yes, they might be aware that they are male or female, boy and girl, but at that stage, they're gender neutral in terms of they don't see males as males, females as females in terms of hierarchy, gender, power struggles, in terms of fundamental differences between male and female. That comes much later. At that time, they just know, you're a boy because you look different, your hair short, and things like that, fundamental. But it's a stage where I say we all gender neutral as you get older. So asking then, a year later, asking somebody what is their sexual orientation, please, our hormones have not yet even kicked in by then.
Absolutely.
Yes, and even that time if you find a girl who loves running or playing with a ball or kicking a boy who is now playing with a doll, that does not make them transsexual, or that does not make them homosexual or lesbian. I mean, I played soccer at school. I love football. I played soccer. I represented the school. Did that make me a lesbian or a transgender or something just because my love for sport? That does not necessarily qualify.
Okay. Mariam, can I come in with a final question, please? We are running out of time. Two callers responding. Samira is saying, very good facts raised, thank you. And Hussein Suleiman says, we are beholden to the state. Yup, this is the story of South Africa. Sadly, good people. Sadly, this is our situation here. Please wrap up for us, Mariam, regarding how do we go forward? Do we as parents band together? Do we sign petitions? How do we make our voices heard for government and the Department of Education to take us seriously enough?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, advocacy groups have taken the Department of Education to court numerous times. Not only what I've raised about educational resources as well, we need to, because remember, government, our public representatives, those ministers, we pay their bill, they represent the people, the interests of the people, and they need to look at everybody's interests, and we need to hold them accountable. And yes, we need to make our voices heard, be it on social media, be it sending letters to the Department of Education, calling them, engaging with the various stakeholders. In fact, it starts at school level. So I think meeting with school governing bodies, determining policies for all children. And yes, there are children that, especially in high school, that struggle with gender identity. But then we need to be looking at what services we offer them. And these are psychosocial services, not physical infrastructure changes that are going to change who they are. They require not only them, there are many other children struggling for various reasons through COVID. Parents they've lost parents. They become orphan. Families are in a different socio-economic bracket now due to the economic effects. So we need to look at proper psychosocial and support services. Not only that, bullying happens, not only children that are marginalized or being bullied because of gender confusion. Children are being bullied per se. Let us look at school policy. So it's important to engage your local communities first. Start from the ground up, and then let your governing body representatives take this to the district officials, and then the district officials then can take this. So at every level of the Department of Education, let them be aware what our needs are and what we're against. Family values. Education is where the parent and the teacher, parent includes community, teachers include the educational institution and stakeholders. They guide the child to responsible adulthood, not allow children at 7, 8, 9, and 10 to make decisions of their own. We need to guide our children towards responsible adulthood and empower them to make responsible, informed decisions. That is what education, well, at least when I majored in education, that's what I studied. that is what the core and the crux of education is.
Mariam, yeah, it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you this morning, raising the most pertinent of issues regarding the early childhood development of our children is concerned, talking about conditioning by the Department of Education. And really, I kind of wonder who are those heads of department and who is sitting in those plush offices making these outrageous decisions around our children and the future of our children. Shukran very much. Undoubtedly, this is not the last that you and I talk on this issue. We will continue these discussions in the future. Go well, keep us in your du'as, and salamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Julie, and to all your listeners.